Welcome to Code Snippets, Tutorial 1, Actions. I have a new FLA opened on my computer. The first layer I'm going to call Button, B-U-T-T-O-N. Select Frame 1, select my rectangle tool, keeping whatever stroke and fill I have here, draw a little rectangle. Pick up my selection tool and highlight it. Go up to Modify, convert it to a symbol. It's a button, keep button selected, and let's call it GOTO_BTN, go to button. Copy that name, right click, copy it. While it's highlighted, open your properties panel. There's the button, go to button, and let's give it that same instance name. Paste it in. Now this is about code snippets, and what code snippets are. They're hints on how to write action script. Okay, so while we have the button selected, open up the Actions panel. And if you don't have the Actions panel here, go under Window, Action, and open it up. But I have mine right here. And there's something here called Code Snippets. And remember, I have this button selected. So Code Snippets. And it's actions we're talking about. And we're going to go through some of these. The first one is click to go to a web page. So if I click on it once and click on this I, and it tells me clicking on the specified object loads the URL. So this means we're going to be able to go to a website. So click here, and this explains to me how it works. The button we have is called Go To button. So that's the button we have. And here we're going to fill in the blank, and we're going to go to not this one, so click on that. We're going to go to www.bitsbyskip.ca. This is a website I have. We're going to go to that. And this underscore blank, that's telling it to go to, when it does that, open up a new page. Don't open it within this document. So let's insert that, and that's telling me that the code snippets has been inserted. So let's look at the Actions panel. We have this commented out, this section here. This tells us how this particular thing works, and it says replaced http://www this with whatever you want. That we did. So let's get rid of that, delete that, and have a quick look at what we have here. Let's get rid of some of this. Go to a web page. Whatever is written here has to be written here. That's the only thing you got to remember there. So let's make them the same. And it's simply saying this button, it's an add event listener. This is all done for us, and it produces a function called go to web page. So the function to go to web page, and this is the code that is going to give it me to navigate to a new URL. So let's just test this out. Test it out. Test the movie. If I had some codes in my code errors, they'd be written here. So now when I click on it, it should jump to that Bits by Skip web page, and done. There it is there. bitsbyskip.ca. That's an easy one. Let's delete all that. Let's keep the button. And notice that when it did that, it put it in an Actions panel. I don't know if you realize that made the layer Actions layer for us and put it in. Go back to the main timeline, scene 1. Let's ignore that button for a minute. Lock all the layers. Select the button layer. Insert a layer. Call it Cursor. C-U-R-S-O-R, Cursor. And here I want to make, first of all, a circle. So click here and get your oval tool. I want no fill. And I just want a circle, so hold your shift down and make a circle. There it is. Pick up the straight line tool and just draw a little X here. pick up your selection tool, modify it, go up here, modify, convert to a symbol. Let's make it a movie clip, and let's call it CROSSHAIR_MC, crosshair movie clip. Copy that, open your properties panel, it's selected. I know it's selected because it says it here, and let's give it the same instance name. Paste that instance name in. Now, while it's selected, open up the actions panel, open up the code snippets, go under actions, custom cursor, custom mouse cursor. Click on that, click on this little icon, replaces the default mouse cursor with the object on the stage. So we're going to have a new cursor. Click here, fills it in, and let's assume everything is all right now. Insert. If there was something wrong, it would tell you. Close that off, close that off, close that, and it's going to replace the cursor for us. And again, if you want to make this line smaller, let's get rid of all this F1 custom and just leave it called. Oh, you see how that turned blue? That means the reserved words. You can't do that. So undo that, and let's just get rid of the F1 underscore for a minute. Yes. And if everything's all right, we should be able to have a new cursor. When I test this out, I get the cursor, the crosshairs, and I don't get the black box. It's only when I'm making it into this video, for some reason, that black square appears. You won't be getting that black square. You'll just get the crosshairs in the circle. There it is. There's our cursor. As we go for a target game. Let's keep that crazy cursor. Let's go back to the main timeline. Let's lock all the layers. Select the cursor layer. Insert another layer. Let's call it ball. B-A-L-L. And we're going to make a ball for that layer. So select frame 1 of that layer. Make a ball. Let's make it red. Red stroke, black fill. Hold the shift button down, and there's a ball. Pick up my selection tool, highlight it. We're going to make this a movie clip. Modify, convert it to a symbol. Make sure movie clip is selected, and call it BALL_MC. Ball movie clip. Now, while it's selected, open up the actions panel again. Click code snippets, actions, and we're going to do drop and drag. So let's just quickly double click on it and see what happens. Click, click. And the selected movie symbol requires an instance name. Okay, so let's call it ball name, N-A-M-E _MC. Okay, and it fills in for us all this stuff. Remember, we still have the crazy mouse cursor, them crosshairs, but now we also have a ball on the stage, which we should be able to pick up and drag around through this code. And again, I like to keep these simple, so let's just call this to drag. Get rid of all that. Call this to drag. See what I'm doing there? As long as these two are the same, it'll work. And let's just put this one, call this one to drop, and to drop. And there's that ball name that it asked for, a new name that we gave it. And let's test this out. No errors. There's my crosshair cursor, and if I click on it, I can drag it and leave it go. Click and drag, click and drag. Remember, that black box shouldn't be following our mouse around. Let's go back to scene 1, and we have this button here. A button's an object of some sort. Unlock that button's layer with your selection tool. There's that button right there. It has an instance name of go to. let's give it a new instance name. Let's call it square, S-Q-U-A-R-E, square underscore button. Okay, it's got a new name. It's highlighted. Open the Actions panel. Open the Code Snippets. Again, the actions, and hide an object. Click to hide an object. So we'll double click on that. And if I look, it made the code up for me. Here's the code. It's for that button. It's called square button. And it's to hide it. Click to hide. I don't want that. You can leave this stuff in here. I don't want that. And when it hides it, it makes the visibility false. So let's go and test this out. Test the movie. I have no errors, but if I get on it and click it, it hides it. That's what this says. When the button is clicked, go to this hide, click to hide function, which is here, and that makes that button visibility false. Let's get rid of this last code here that hides this one here. Let's delete that. Just delete this. Hide object, delete this. So we're back with just the ball and the cursor. Let's just test this for a minute to see what we have. Yes, we have this that can click and drag, and this button does nothing anymore. Good. Let's highlight the button again. Open the code snippets. There's nothing on there's no action code now in this button. And let's go down to this one. Click to position an object. I'm going to click this one once to say moves a specified object to the X and Y coordinates. Okay, so now let's look at this. Right now you can see on the stage that it's over here to the right hand side, and it's this square button we're talking about. And let's make it go XYs. Let's bring it way over to the right, which is around 500-ish. And let's put it down to the bottom of our stage, which is around 400-ish. So now I'm going to insert that. Let's see what that code looks like. Again, position. I might be able to get away with getting rid of all this here. Just position. Delete that. Yeah, it didn't turn blue. I can do that. Delete that. Yeah, and now when I run this button, when I click on it, it's going to move it. So control test movie. No errors. When I click on it, boom, where'd it go? Went down here. 500 on the X, 400 on the Y. So you can put it anywhere you want by changing these values. Okay, while we're here with the code snippets, let's go down below this one. And in case I didn't point it out, all these are being put on this actions layer right here in this first frame of this actions layer. Okay, I got my selection down the very bottom. Let's open the code snippets again. And there's one here called generate a random number. Let's just click on that one for a minute. Generates a random number between 0 and a number you specify. Okay, so if we look at it, see what it says. It's blue is what they want you to change. So let's keep this as is. Insert it. Let's look at this code. And it's going to, this is what the function is, generate a random number. I don't know, maybe we can just call it random number. Yep, random number. Call it random number with a capital R. And it's going to go to 100, between 0 and 100. So now it's going to trace it. What that means, it's going to just put it in the what's called the output panel. So the best way to do this is to show you, test the movie, and if I look up here, it generated a 99. Let's do it again. Control test movie test. This time it generated a 55. So those numbers are random. Let's go to the bottom of the page here. Oops. And let's open our code snippets again. Actions. And one here, simple timer. Let's double click on that. Double click on it, sends it right into the actions panel. And let's see what it says. Display a countdown timer in the output panel until 30 seconds is elapsed. Okay, this code is good for placing, good place to start for creating a timer. Yeah, well, let's look at it for a minute. We're quick. Again, let's get rid of this F underscore, and let's get rid of this F underscore, and we got this thing called time handler. See this here, time handler. Let's get rid of this F1 in this one. Down here is that time handler. Let's get rid of that. This F1 slash here, this one here, and this one here. Just makes them shorter. And if I got them all, this is going to create a timer. I would think this is going to be how it's going to time per second, because this would be in milliseconds. 1,000 seconds would be a second. So it's going to count by 1 second, and it's going to count to 30. So let's test this out. And if I made no errors, I'll get no errors. Good. 41 seconds, time elapsed, 1, 2. That 41 is the random number from that previous. This is going to count up to 30. Okay, so that'll make this happen a little faster. Let's go back to the actions panel, and let's have it count tenths of a second. So this is going to go much faster. Remember, the first number is the random number from the previous one, and here it goes. 16, 17, 21, 25, 30, stops. Okay, so should you need anything for that in one of your projects. And let's do one more on this. Get to the end of the program here. Code snippets, actions, a countdown timer. That's going to be similar to this, but it's going to count down. So let's double click on it. It's going to generate the code for that automatically. And this one here is going to count down from 10. And if I look at it, I'm going to leave all these, but you can clean them up. It's going to count down from 10, and it's going to count in, again, in these 1,000 milliseconds. So that's 1 second. So it's going to count down from 10 in seconds. Again, this is the, let's let this take place till it stops, and then we'll look at it, see what's on here. There, done. Okay, there's a few things on here. There's the random generator generating that number. This is the up counter, the first counter we made, the timer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it says now it's going to start down from 10 seconds. Then at the same time, the other one goes 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, from 10 seconds to 9 seconds. So the seconds one is counting down, and the other one's counting up to 30. So it gets down to 8. Eventually this gets up to 30 and stops. This one goes 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's just take a poke at those once more and see if there's anything else I want to talk about. No, that's it. I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learn. Code snippets.